Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, I'm out and about and I'm running just a little bit behind trying to get everything done today. Got a lot going on. You know, it's payroll for my company. But anyway, I just pulled over in the shade because I want to hop on and do our Bible teaching snippet. Now, my last snippet, not yesterday, because I did a testimony, okay? And by the way, I want to correct myself on the testimony yesterday. The dead bird raising was not Monday. It was last Friday morning, okay? I looked at my notes and it was last Friday. So, anyway, today I want to stay on the course that we're on, and I'm talking about things Jesus never said about healing. What Jesus did not teach or say about healing that we are taught and told all the time about it. No faith, not enough faith, unforgiveness, all this stuff. And I'm just strategically showing you in our Bibles that right the opposite is true. And so today I'm going to pick up on, now the last one I did, I talked about people not having to have their own faith to get healed. And I think I proved my case. I showed numerous occasions where a third person had faith for a different person to get healed. And we don't even have an account of the person knowing that they were going to even go get Jesus or that they had reached out to get them healed. We don't see any evidence of that. So basically it was between Jesus and the third person to get a sick person healed. Okay, today I'm going to stay kind of in line of what I'm teaching. Today I want to ask you to think about a couple of things with me, and I'm going to show you account after account, just like I did on my last snippet where there was no faith on the sick person's part. I want to show you where we can prove in the Bible that people did not have to have their own faith, or they didn't have enough faith and they still got healed. Here's a couple of questions that I wrote down. Number one, if a person has to have their own faith, how did they all get healed? How did all, when Jesus healed the multitudes, how in the world did you gather anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 to 15,000 people who all of them had faith? I mean, come on. We can't even get 10 people in a church of 300 people or 200 people or 80 people healed. And you would think that out of 150, 200 people, at least 10 people out of that group would have enough faith or something to get somebody healed. But look at how Jesus went all over the place, and over again we see that he healed them all. So I guess what I'm saying is the people that are saying that someone has to have their own faith or to have enough faith for them to get healed, how in the world did Jesus work it out that all of these perfect faith people knew where to go and to show up so they could get healed? And it just wasn't a handful of people. It was multitudes, multiple times in the Bible. So here's another thing. Why don't we see Jesus telling anyone in those huge crowds, oh, well, you know, you can't get healed because you didn't come with enough faith? Why don't we see Jesus actually saying something to someone? Jesus healed thousands and thousands of people at different times, and at no time do we see Jesus telling a sick person that they did not have any faith or that they didn't have enough faith. Here's another thing. You would think that in alone with the disciples, if there were people that couldn't get healed, the disciples would have been asking Jesus, well, you know, Lord, out there on the Lake of Galilee, you know, there was about 400 people out there that didn't get healed. What happened? You don't see that. You don't even see Jesus telling the disciples, well, you know, guys, I know there was 3,000 people there, but not all 3,000 people had faith. So, you know, I couldn't heal but 300 of them. You do not see Jesus saying that, okay? So these are just those looming questions that I always have, okay? I always ask questions. Well, why don't I see Jesus saying this? And why is it just someone who's teaching trying to come up with a good reason why that we don't see the results we want? And I think that maybe we're teaching some errors. So today let me set in, and I'm going to read you a little more from the article that I wrote. And here I go. In looking at the gospel accounts of healing, we simply do not see Jesus sorting out the different groups of people from the crowds, separating and culling those who did not actually qualify for healing. The Gospels record the opposite, that Jesus healed the masses. In many places, we find Jesus healed them all. In a chart below denote scriptures referencing all who were healed. And right now today, that's what I want to do. I want to show you in scripture where we see multitudes of people all over the place, and at no point did any of them not receive their healing. None of them were ever told by Jesus or any of the disciples that they did not qualify for healing because they didn't have faith, didn't have enough faith, or that they had unforgiveness, or what was our other reasons why people can't get healed. Let me find that if I can. Not born again, not believing, or living in sin. You don't see any of these reasons in any of these scriptures that I'm going to show you, and I'm just going to show you in my Bible. And now look, it's in all of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I'm just going to, for this teaching, I'm just going to work straight out of Matthew so I can go through it a little bit quicker. So my first scripture that I want to show you is in Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. And it says here, "And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. And his fame went out through all of Syria, and they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with divers different diseases and torments, and those who were possessed with devils." I don't like the word possessed. Actually, what it means is being oppressed by. Possession means to have ownership. The devil didn't own the people. They were just tormenting the people and oppressing them. But let me keep going. Who were oppressed with devils. I'll just put that in there. And those who were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. Okay. So there's our first example. My next example, I want to go on over to chapter 8 in Matthew, and this is verse 16. And it says, "And when the evening had come, they brought unto him," to Jesus, "many that were possessed." And again, that's a really bad translation. Possession means total ownership. The devils don't have total ownership. That's a bad translation, and I'm sorry, but I'd like to use the word "those who were oppressed" or tormented is what I like to use. And oppressed with devils, and he cast out the spirits with his word and healed, watch this, here's another word, all who were sick. Okay. 2 times right there. Okay. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 9, verse 35, and I'm going to just keep running here. "And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd." And this is right when he commissions and sends out the 12 apostles, the disciples, in chapter 10. Okay, so he's healing all he can, and now he's found that there's so many people sick and oppressed by devils that he has to get somebody to help him heal these people. Okay, let's go on over to how about chapter 12, verse 15? And here we see it says, "But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and from the great multitude, and the great multitudes followed him." And here it is, "And Jesus healed them all, and charged them that they should not make him known." Okay, so he is actually healing all. Again, right here in Scripture, these are all different accounts. This is not the same account. This is as he's traveling, he's healing all who are sick, all who have diseases, all who are oppressed by devils. And watch this. He's not doing it to prove who he is. I just talked to somebody about that today. Right here, it says, and he told them not to make him known. If Jesus was here healing people just to prove who he is, he'd probably be wearing a t-shirt. He would be telling people, now you go out and tell the rest of the people that the Son of God is here and that the Messiah is here. No, he didn't. He said, basically, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell anybody. Okay, let's keep going. I'm over in Matthew 14:14 now, okay? So let me find that, and here we go. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. Here we go, another multitude. All right, okay. We're still in chapter 14, but here we have another account, and it says in verse 34. It says, and when they were gone over, they came into the land of Gennesaret. And when the men of that place had knowledge of him, they sent out into all the country round about, and brought unto Jesus all, that's A-L-L again, all that were diseased, and besought him that they might only touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched were made perfectly whole. Okay? Now let's go on over to chapter 15. Well, if I was a lawyer, I'd be winning the case right now. Okay, chapter 15, verse 29. Let's see. And Jesus departed from hence and came unto the Sea of Galilee and went up into a mountain and sat down. Verse 30. And a great multitude came unto him, having with them those who were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Jesus' feet, and he healed them. Inasmuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to be whole, the lame to walk, and the blind to see, and they glorified the God of Israel. Okay, that was in chapter 15. Now we're going to go over to chapter 19. In chapter 19, verse 1, and it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee, and he came into the coast of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. More healing going on. Okay, I'm going to give you one more today, and then I'm going to wrap it up, guys, okay? I know I'm running long, but I'm proving my point here. And this is chapter 21, verse 14. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But you know, that's about the only account you'll see where Jesus was actually healing in the temple, other than the man that had the withered arm. Okay, now that I've shown you all of these scriptures, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've given you 9 examples where Jesus healed them all, or he healed them in great multitudes. And you do not see Jesus telling Peter to pull the people with no faith or not enough faith out of those big crowds. You don't see him telling John to pull people who have unforgiveness in their heart out of the crowd and counsel them and tell them to come back next week when they've got all that worked out. You don't see any of that. Here's another thing. You don't see him telling James, pull out the ones who have demons in them and tell them that we will set them free if that's what they want me to do today. See, all of these wrong teachings, all wrong teachings can be laid down through looking at what Jesus did and what Jesus said, and sometimes, even more importantly, what Jesus did not say. Because I see people assigning things and putting words in Jesus' mouth and actions against Jesus that hurt his good character and nature because they are teaching error. Jesus healed them all because all qualify for a free gift. If it's not a free gift and you have to qualify, then you have to start sorting people out and finding out if they have enough rewards to get that thing that they're asking. But Jesus healed them all because it was a free gift from God, and the time had come that the scripture could be fulfilled and God could act on his word and make it good. And his word is still good today. He's just looking for people to believe Jesus. I love you guys. I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.